Well, hey everyone. How we doing out there in the world? I know I have been absent for quite a while. Um, this year has been pretty harrowing for me. I have had a lot of health complications, and this channel has went through a lot of different iterations. So now it's called The Rotten Woman. I wanted to have something that would encapsulate um, all of the topics that I like talking about, not just like, you know, living with metastatic cancer, um, how sedition is sexy, because that used to be what it was called. Um, the future is socialist or communist. I wanted to kind of get away from those very narrow kind of topics because I felt pretty limited and I have a very wide variety of topics that I like to think about um, and talk about and ponder and such things as that. I don't think I'll be on for very long today. I'm quite exhausted. Um, my health is, oh, well, I just got out of the hospital um, like 2 weeks ago. I caught another bacterial infection. I had a bacterial infection last year and the year before. So, 3 years in a row that I caught a bacterial infection. But, however, this year it was not the same bacterial infection that I had the 2 years prior. This time it was the norovirus, which I was told is one of the most common viruses in the world. Although, to be honest with you, I had never heard of it before. So I was in isolation for 8 days and had to take about, I don't know, 15 10 to 15 different antibiotics. And then I was also sent home after 8 days with a week's worth of another strain of antibiotics. So I've also earlier this year, had to go to the hospital for pleural effusion. And this trip was also about pleural effusion. My right lung is damaged and keeps filling up with fluid. So basically, what that entails is there's a lot of damage to my right lung. I've had pleural effusion a couple of times now, um, and so my right lung is kind of moved away from the chest wall, and now it's like kind of like a cantaloupe rind on the side, and it can't attach anymore to the wall of my chest. Um, and so, our bodies don't like open, unfilled spaces. And so that's why fluid keeps accumulating in my lung, basically. I had a tube in for about 11 months, and I had just had that removed literally the week before I went into the hospital. So it's, it was just an absolute cluster of a mess. Um, I don't know if you guys know, but I live alone and I live with metastatic cancer. So I have stage 4 cancer that is in my bones from my jaw, here in the bottom part of my jaw, my neck, my spine, my ribs front and back, and my hips, my lungs, the pleura on the right side. There's some tumors there. And then on my liver as well, there's two tumors. One is a new one that I just found out about when I went to the hospital. I found out that I had a new one. So I'm not on intravenous medications anymore. I'm on a drug called Orserdu or elacetrant, I think is how you say it. It's an endocrine drug that specifically targets these soft tumor tissues that I have, soft tumors that I have in my pleura and my liver. So I'm quite tired most of the time. Chemo, I found out I was sick in 2013. And then in 2017, I found out that I had metastatic cancer, where it, and I also had in 2016, I had a double mastectomy, and was basically told I was cancer free. No, because 3 months later, it came raging back. So don't always believe what surgeons tell you. They're not oncologists and they don't know what they're talking about. So I've been in and out of the hospital a lot in the last few years. One, I'll show you here. I have a port. That's where I get blood drawn from and I get medications put in. I can also get CT, contrast, PET scan, the radiation thing, fluid that I need for a bone scan can all go through my port. But however, I'm not getting intravenous Taxol at this point. It's been about 3 or 4 months. As you can see, my hair, Taxol takes your hair. So my hair is growing in. I just got this cut a couple of weeks ago, right before I got really sick. And you can see the color that it came in. I'm a silver fox, baby. Ow. Also, big news for me was that I was finally approved for 100% disability through the VA for the PTSD that I suffer from, the massive PTSD that I suffer from my time in the service. I won't go into any more detail about that. That's quite private. I mean, I have talked about it before, but today I just don't feel like discussing it. So that's basically where I'm at. So 100% disability rating, one, is great because it opens up so many more benefits for me, like dental. So I can go and have my teeth taken out because chemo has just absolutely wrecked my teeth. They're just wrecked. There's no going back. They have to come out. So I start that process at the end of the month and should have that completed hopefully before Christmas or maybe the new year. I'm not sure how that's going to work. But it's opened up, it gives me more money every month. So I have been able to finally afford to get my canopy bed that I've always wanted. Always, since I was a little girl, wanted a canopy bed. And now I have one. And of course, now you can't see my Free Palestine flag in the back. I've got to find another place to put that since the canopy is obscuring it. But, it's okay. Everybody knows that, Free Palestine, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. I hope in my lifetime I get to see Palestine be free, completely and utterly free. No more Israel. At this point, anyone who calls what is happening in Palestine and Gaza and the West Bank right now a war is an absolute moron and an idiot. A war requires 2 armies or more. 2. This is an asymmetrical war, which means that Palestine has no army. Hamas is not an army. They don't have an army. They don't have a navy. They don't have an air force. They don't have a space force. They don't have Marines. Okay? However, Israel does. And they are utilizing US-made weapons to schmurder, some words we can't say, Palestinian civilians. That's men, women, and children who have nothing to do with Hamas. And anybody who says that this is a war is dead wrong and should absolutely be ashamed of themselves. This is a genocide. It's a genocide, not a war, a genocide. And I'm not sure I believe the ceasefire. I haven't really heard anything more about it since the other day. I don't think the Knesset has actually approved the ceasefire. And I don't believe that any of the IDF or Israeli soldiers are not sniping children in the head. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then we have our lovely President Trump. Ugh. I mean, is he really the president? Do we really think he's the actual president? President McCankles, and what is going on with his hand? Oh, nasty man. He does not take care of himself. He is a bloated, orange, walking toad. No, because toads are cool. He's not a toad. There is no disgusting, there's not an animal gross enough to compare to him. He's the grossest, literally. I think our actual president is the Schnazi Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller. He's the acting president. I mean, wasn't he the acting president back in Trump's first term? He was the architect of the separation policy to separate children from their parents at the border. So now we've totally forgot about those kids and those families. We don't even remember them. No, because we have minuscule memories, tiny little baby memories. We don't remember anything. And partly due to that is the fact that Stephen Miller is a chaos agent. He knows how to sow chaos. I mean, this is his thing. Some More News just did an excellent video, about a 2-hour video on him that I highly suggest everyone watch. It's really, really good. Some More News with Cody Johnston. Very, very good video. I mean, he is gleefully saying that torture, he said this in high school, that torture is humane. We should just cut off people's fingers when they behave badly. We should just cut off their fingers. Yeah. And that should teach them a lesson. As if torture is effective at all. I mean, that's been proven like over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Oh my God, it's so exhausting. But, I mean, what are you going to do? They're going to do what they're going to do. Oh, America first. Speaking of Trump and his American first policy, I see that he really meant, what was it? Argentina first. Because he just bailed out Argentina. And then Argentina turned around and sold all of their a quarter. I think it was just a quarter of their soybean crop to China as a big FU to the United States. or Turtle Island, as I call it. It's Turtle Island. Um, and where is Elon? Is he just still out there promoting eugenics? Is he out there getting more women inseminated? Because I've heard his little thingy is like crooked and doesn't work anymore. Yeah, he's weird. Yeah, he's strange. And yeah, he and Doge, his little teenage henchmen, yeah, they looted. They literally looted the working class people and the poor people of this country. And the big, beautiful bill that will go into effect in January. You think the tariffs are bad? Oh, darlings, you ain't seen nothing yet. When the big, beautiful bill or the big, nasty, disgusting, will hurt and kill people bill goes into effect in January, poor people in red states are going to get hit hard. And that means mostly women, women, children, and the elderly. And it seems like men too. I'm not sure what's going on with men these days, but maybe you guys need to talk to each other and do better. Because I see a lot of videos about women not wanting to date men. I'm never going to date again. I mean, I got married in my early 20s, very early 20s, and had a baby with my first husband, who was a sociopath and abuser. And then I left him, and it took me like 6 years. So we were married almost 10 years altogether, because it took me 6 years to get away from him and finally get a divorce. He didn't want me, but he didn't want anybody else to have me either. And then fought me for custody 3 times and lost all 3 times, and had to pay all my lawyer fees and the court costs. So I guess he learned a little lesson there. You can't cheat on your wife, give her an STD, and beat her, and then try to beat your child, who is only 2 years old, and not ever spend any time with him and not expect to not win in court. Okay, men, you're delusional. Speaking of that, they found the actual, I can't say the word I want to say, but it's MF, because that's a bad word and I'm not going to say it. But the degenerate loser who killed 30 people and displaced, I don't know, thousands of people in LA last year with the Palisades fire, they caught him. And he's a degenerate white MAGA, maybe. I think he's MAGA. I'm not real sure if he's MAGA or not, but he's an arsonist for sure. He set the fire on a trail, left, then came back to watch his handiwork. He threatened to kill his sister and her husband, and was generally a menace to his family. And yet, the media is treating him with such kid gloves. Oh, this poor little baby boy. He's just so misunderstood. No, he's violent, misogynistic, and hateful. He's mad because his girlfriend broke up with him, so he decided to light a fire in one of the biggest cities in the United States. And he managed to kill 30 people and burn down, I don't know how many houses, how many animals died, how many pets died because of this degenerate loser. How many? Untold numbers. People lost everything. Do you know how hard it is to recover, especially in a country like this, in a time like this, from something that devastating? White male rage needs to stop. It is white men who are the abusers. It is white men who are going out with pew-pews and murdering children, murdering black folk at churches, Jew folk at churches, Mormon. Oh, we just had another MAGA guy run his truck into a Mormon church. A white, mediocre man with white rage. You know, I've had it. I understand why women aren't dating. Then I get on YouTube this morning, and the first thing I see is a male teacher in Georgia saying that the worst thing that's ever happened to the world is that women are educated. Public school, a public school teacher, a public school high school teacher told his students, this was his opinion. He wasn't playing devil's advocate. He wasn't like asking people, he did ask if they agree or not. Several boys, to their credit, said no. One boy said, yep, it's the worst thing that's ever happened because this is a man's world. You're just mad at us because we're better. Yeah, I'm a female supremacist. And I have been for a long time. Thank you to Lisa of the Audacity podcast for that, because she helped me find that part of my voice. And I am a female supremacist. I do believe and know that women create life. We create. Men, males, destroy. Especially poor, aggrieved, angry little troll, mediocre white men. Get better. Get better. It is not my job or any other woman's job to make you do better. Girls don't have to marry you. Women don't have to marry you. Women don't have to have your babies. Women don't have to do anything you want us to do. And most women certainly are not going to give up the rights that we have. You can try to take them away. But remember, there's more of us than there are of you. Just remember that. And you might think that you're big and strong and you can hit really hard. But most of you are wusses who will use pew-pews or bats to hurt women, or because your fisticuffs are just. We have other ways. Keep pushing us. Keep pushing women. I don't think you'll like what happens if you keep on abusing us. I've been married twice. I got married again in my 40s. Let me tell you something. Nothing about men in 20 years had changed. Not one thing. My second husband was almost as bad as my first husband. Callous, didn't really care about me at all, left me the day that I found out I had metastatic cancer. Left me to go visit his mother. Not a scheduled trip. Which even if it was, he should have canceled because there was no emergency with her. But there was an emergency with his wife. But he decided that he couldn't handle it, so he ran off. And yeah, I left him a year later when I could finally get the money together to leave him. And I was an immigrant to a foreign country. Yeah, he was Norwegian. He wasn't even American. And it's no different. Men just I don't understand why you don't just get better. Don't look at Trump and tell me that he is like the dream, because he's not. He's not the dream. He's actually most people's nightmare. And what is wrong? Another thing, what is wrong with empathy? Honestly, what is wrong with empathy? Is there really something wrong? Um, empathy is a learned skill. Everyone can learn how to be empathetic. We're not born hateful, and we're not born with sin either. Okay. I'm currently reading Daniela Mastanek Young's autobiography, Uncultured, about her childhood growing up in the Children of God cult. And several times reading, I'm only on the 4th chapter, and several times I had to put that book down and cry and cry and cry for those kids. Those little girls, they equate schmecks with God's love. Schmecks with children, girls as young as 6 months old. You heard me. Infants. Infants. Religious people. Women's bodies are not yours to do with as you please. Girls' bodies are not yours to do with as you please. And any man who tells you that you're not worth anything, that's just projection. He's the one who's not worth anything. And he's mad because we're doing better. We're coming up in the world. More women own homes now. More single women own homes now than single men. And men benefit from marriage, and women do not benefit from marriage. We actually do worse, health-wise, monetarily wise. There's all kinds of negative outcomes for women who get married and have children. Anyway, I'm glad that they found the guy that burned down LA in the new year. I'm really glad that they found him, and however, the way the media is literally treating him as if he's just a poor little boy is gross. So, do with that what you want. It's time we start, and we need to get rid of gross shit like boys will be boys. If a boy is mean to you, that means he likes you. No. Oh, and I just got a like on a comment that I made on a Cruel World Happy Mind video, her latest video on Iron Mouse, a VTuber. What an inspiring young woman. Oh my gosh. I had never heard of her. I didn't even know what a VTuber was. I'm not like chronically online. I do watch YouTube a lot, and I stream, like a lot of people. I stream, HBO. I stream, I don't know, Netflix and stuff like that. But I'd never heard of this girl, but she's really inspiring. And what a story. What a story. I mean, you want to talk about the absolute greed of capitalism? Her story is about the greed of corporations and what they do, how they lie, how they steal from workers all the time. Did you know that the biggest amount of theft in the world is wage theft? Wage theft. Think about that for a minute. Your employer literally steals from you. How do you think corporations make so much money to give to their shareholders? By the way, shareholders don't do anything. Okay, they literally don't do anything except give a little bit of capital. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about today? I don't know. I keep getting one or two people poking in, poking out. That's okay. You know, I'm not the kind of person who is what do you call it? Like, I don't live or die on views or likes, that kind of stuff. Like, it doesn't really matter to me. I don't really care. I don't. But I hope that, somebody will comment if they find anything inspiring that I said, and definitely go check out that Cruel World Happy Mind video on Iron Mouse. She's amazing. What an amazing young woman. Everyone should know her story. I mean, what this company did was just abominable. It was abominable. And this is how companies treat people all the time. They lie. They change contracts, or they'll make you an independent contractor so that you get no benefits. Look at hospitals. Hospitals. No doctor is employed by the hospital. They're all independent contractors. What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh. But on a cool note, see this little pendant I'm wearing here? My little psilocybin mushroom pendant. For my birthday, I'm getting some psilocybin. I'm going to San Francisco. San Francisco. I have to join their church and stuff, but whatever, because it's a religious thing. And that's fine. I can do that. Let's see. What else did I want to talk about today? I talked about Palestine. I talked about that degenerate loser who arsonist. I talked about men doing better. Talked about my health update. I talked about Iron Mouse. Gosh, there was something else I wanted to talk about, but I don't remember. Anyway, I love you guys. I love you a lot. I hope that your day goes really, really great. You have a really great rest of your weekend. Take care of yourself. Know that I love you and that you matter to me. Each and every one of you matter to me. Even if we disagree, I still want you to live a wonderfully luxurious life. You deserve that. You deserve the best air quality, the best earth quality, the best housing, the best cars, best public transportation. Actually, let's do public transportation. No more cars. We don't need cars. And I'm sure that's a hot take, as we are a car culture. The United States or Turtle Island needs to normalize taking dogs onto trains and buses like they do in Europe. So in Europe, you can do that. Here you cannot, which, I would take public transportation and never use my car. I would sell my car. I have like 3 bus stops right by my house. And I could just do that. I want you to have full range of medical care, from the tippy top of your head to the tippy tip of your toes. That means eyes, that means teeth, that means ears. That means everything. I want you to have wonderfully organic food that tastes delicious. Clean air, clean water, clean food, good housing. None of this cheap, crappy, shitty housing that, here in California, I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, and it's ridiculous. It's not even that great of a quality of an apartment. It's old. The bathroom is embarrassing. I'm embarrassed to let anybody come to my house because I don't want them to go in my bathroom, because literally it's 2 different colors. The management is god awful. They talk down to people, especially if you are a mouthy, rotten woman like me. All right. Love you guys so much. Take care. Take care. Take care. Make sure to please take care of yourself. You can't be useful to anyone if you are hurting, if you are not eating good and taking care of yourself. And I know that can be hard, especially for a lot of us who don't have a lot of money. These days are hard, and they're going to get harder. But there was something else I wanted to talk about with the big beautiful bill. I forgot to talk about. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, and then I'm going to log off because I need to go and eat something. I'm pretty hungry. This is my dinner time. Many, the vast majority, honestly, the vast majority of people in hospice care and in long-term kind of home care situations, or not home care, but people who need round-the-clock nursing care, and they can't get it at home. They have to go into a facility to get it. Nursing homes. God, my brain. Okay, nursing homes. Nursing homes are basically kept afloat because of Medicaid and Medicare, but mainly because of Medicaid. And the big beautiful bill just cut Medicaid. And so a lot of seniors, a lot of very ill seniors who need round-the-clock care are going to be put out on the street, because not a lot of families are going to be able to afford to pay for their elderly parents who are in these long-term care facilities. And in a lot of states, they have this, and be prepared for this, because they have this family law that means if you are the family member of a person that is losing their coverage, you have a fiduciary responsibility to take care of them. Think about that. How many families, even middle class or even upper middle class families, can afford to do that? Can they afford 24-hour care at home? Because it's not cheap. Okay? I know. I get in-home health care. I have 2 ladies that come to visit me for 4 hours, 3 days a week. And I don't pay for it. The VA pays for it, thankfully, as part of my compensation package. But it's not inexpensive, especially if they need round-the-clock nursing care. All right, so these are just some things to contemplate and understand that you and your neighbors might run into, but most especially if you live in a red state and you live in a rural area, because rural hospitals are also going to be shutting down. You're going to see a lot, because they depend on Medicaid too. So we're gonna see just how good socialism really is for for Turtle Island. You're gonna see how good it is. And on that note, I'm finally going to say adieu, goodbye, arrivederci, ciao. I will see you in the next live stream, probably next Saturday. All right, about this time, 4 o'clock Pacific time. Okay? All right, my darlings, know that you are loved no matter what circumstances you find yourself in, no matter what is happening in your life. You are fundamentally loved. You are loved by me. You are loved by many people. Okay. I love you, darlings. And remember, all countries matter, not just this one. And all people matter, not just white people. Okay? All right. Enough with the white nationalism. I've had it up to here with it. Being white is not special. We are not special. Okay? In fact, we're pretty terrible. All right. Love you guys.